Hello Goodie Two Shoes, my name is Aubrie Rose, welcome back to my channel. So I just filmed a little video like critiquing, well, some other people's lists on books that you should read in the fall. I have a few on my list of books that I'm going to read based on those lists. And today I'm going to give you guys my list. Well, I mean, right now I'm gonna give you my list because I also filmed that other thing today. Anyway. So, there are definitely a few different things that I'm going to be rating these on. Some of them are the fall feels, and then as well as just my normal good, clean, fun review, or just like rating. So I'll let you guys know what is in their content based on that. So yeah. Let us get into it. I have them mostly organized. Okay, so the first one that I'm going to recommend is The Witch of Blackbird Pond. I love this book so much. I read it for school, yes. So it definitely, it takes place a little bit in fall. It takes place a little bit in September, so I definitely recommend reading it in September. It mentions September, so that makes it just more fun and more special for me, it feels like. But yeah, this is very clean. There is a little bit of romance, but there's really only like drama, nothing physical. So yes, I do highly recommend this one for September. Fall feels, when you get into the fall part, the fall feels are high. Before that, not as much. The second one, I just have Agatha Christie. I have these three novels. I have The Murder of Roger Ackroyd, and then There Were None, and then Murder on the Orient Express. So, The Murder of Roger Ackroyd, I probably recommend reading them in this order. So The Murder of Roger Ackroyd, probably recommend for September. And then There Were None is definitely a spooky October book. And then maybe Murder on the Orient Express in like November or December. But yes, so I definitely recommend Agatha Christie, especially if you like cozy mysteries to read in the fall time. These are amazing. They're very clean, other than, you know, people get murdered. But yes, highly recommend. I don't know how much I give them on the fall feels. And then There Were None for like October feels gets so many points. The other ones, I don't remember what time they actually take place. I think the Murder on the Orient Express happens in the wintertime. So I don't know about that one. And then Roger Ackroyd, I don't remember. I feel like it's a summer or spring book, but I don't know. Okay, and we do have some classics. If you have not read this one, what are you doing with your life? You need to read it now. Dracula. I love Dracula. And my dad kind of warned me about, like, there's maybe an intimate scene. There's not. There's a weird scene that kind of happens where it's like an almost, but nothing technically happens. Nothing technically happens. It's just weird. But yes, so I love this book. I highly recommend listening to it with this audiobook. I think it's free. I'll link it down below, but the execution is just amazing. The voices are perfect, and yes, so Dracula, very high on the fall feels. It's just, it's perfect, spooky. Read it in October. Yeah. With creepy music that scares you more than the book does, because that's what I did. Hop into this one first too. So these are beautiful books. This one's the Sherlock Holmes collection, but you can't see it very well, but can you see like the gold embossed? It's so pretty. And this is by, I think, like, what's it called? Flame Tree Publishing. But it's also like Gothic fantasy. And there are a few different books of these, or collections. I have the Haunted House collection and the ghost stories, and I do recommend those. They might not be the best stories. I mean, Sherlock Holmes's, but some of the other ones are just a little interesting. Like the ghost story that we tried to read, it wasn't very scary. It was actually just very funny and entertaining. But they are beautiful if you just want like a Gothic bookshelf or place in your house. They're beautiful. So anyway, I do recommend those. I want to buy all of them. Then we have The Book Thief. The Book Thief is so emotional. I feel like I felt like I needed to read it slow to just enjoy all of it. The prose is beautiful. There's only one part that wasn't super clean, as well as like a bunch of language, but I did forgive them that because they're in the middle of a war, and so you can kind of understand. But yeah, very, very good book. Definitely kind of creepy, so maybe like an October read, maybe November, but yeah, very, very highly recommend. I feel like at this point it's just kind of like all of my favorite books. I love The Book Thief. I love The Night Circus. The Night Circus, yes. Yes. I don't remember content or anything. I feel like I don't remember that much of this book, which makes me sad. Once I read it, I'm sure I'll remember again, but, or reread it. But yes, definitely yes. I'm not the only one that's like, read this. I think it happens in October. So if you want to kind of like follow along with it, read it in October. So that would be fun. Yeah, October book, highly recommend. Don't remember content stuff, so apologies for that. Oh, Phantom Heart. There was, I remember the content warnings for this, so I'm just going to do that first. There was probably some kissing and the book is falling, and there was some dancing, which, like, just the type of ballroom dancing that they're doing can be kind of intimate. So, yeah, but there's no, like, actual intimacy, and it starts in September, I think, because they're going back to school, so maybe August, September. Phantom of the Opera, so, like, I love it. But, yeah, fall feels, highly recommend. I feel like I'm not good at talking about these books. I'm just like, read it and thank me later. Heartless, I love this book. I feel like I just added it because I love it. And it is kind of gothic and creepy. There's kissing, and that's it, really. I mean, touching, kissing. Yeah, very, very good. Highly recommend. Fall feels kind of, but yeah, I feel like you could also read this in summer. You could read this anytime, but it does kind of have some fall feels. I feel like I read it in summer, so, but yeah. And now we have like some, those were more fantasy. Now we're getting back into like the mystery thrillers, if that's more your vibe, or more what you want to read. The Good Lie by A.R. Torre. Highly recommend. It's so twisty. I feel like I can't. There is intimacy, but it's closed door, or like fade to black. It's fade to black. That's what it is. So like there's a bit of setup, fade to black. I think she might reference it in her mind a little bit, like just in her thought process. So there's that, but for the most part, it is very clean, and I was very appreciative of that. It is very good. So twisty. Highly recommend. Definitely read it before The Silent Patient, though, because The Silent Patient is, like, even more twisty. The Silent Patient is also so twisty. I feel like it happens in kind of fall, or winter. I can't remember, even though I just read it. But yeah, very twisty. If you feel bored while reading it, just keep reading until you get to the end. I promise it will be worth it. Because that's where I was. Like, I wasn't so bored that I felt like I just couldn't keep reading. Like, I kept reading it, but the ending was so worth it. So, yeah. Highly recommend. There was some intimacy, but it wasn't from any of the people doing its point of view, which maybe makes it worse. But I don't think that scene was super long. It was a little weird. I mostly just skipped over it. So there's that in there. Yes. Okay, now, like, this one is, like, horror movie feels. So, yeah. Enter the Dark House. This is both Welcome to the Dark House and Return to the Dark House. It's basically like a horror slasher movie in book form, is what I've been told. I don't really watch slasher movies, but I very much enjoyed it. It is still kind of cheesy and it doesn't work perfectly, and the second one worked a lot less. I liked the second one a lot less, but I really liked the first book. So, I mean, yeah, if you like YA slasher, you'll probably like this. And there is a lot of language in the first book, a lot less in the second book, but yeah, I think that's it. I liked it enough to buy it though. Okay, so we have Truly Devious, which, so if you're not into all of the woke craziness, there is a lot of stuff in here that will bug you, but the mystery itself is flawless and perfect and beautiful and so good. But the relationship is toxic. There's a lot of wokeness, and I don't appreciate that part, but everything else was, I mean, just the mystery itself was so good. So if you can maybe, like, listen to it on audiobook really fast, so you're not really paying attention to all the other stuff and you're really just getting the mystery, or if you read through it and, like, just read the mystery bits, it's hard to do, but yeah. So I recommend the mystery, but if you're really like, I really don't want to read all the woke stuff, probably won't be for you. But yeah, I'm gonna slip this one down here. Okay, so this one I feel like obviously, but I have to wait like another 2 months to read this one. So yeah, I highly recommend reading this on November 9. It's really small, so like you definitely can do that. And there is some intimacy, but you can kind of skip over it. I feel like there's only one, maybe 2 scenes. There's a lot of kissing. It really is just romance, but it's such a good story. It's heartbreaking, and then yeah, highly recommend. These ones I feel like are very much fall feels, but there is a little bit of weirdness. There is intimacy. I don't think it's like explicit. It's not explicit, but yeah. So I didn't love these, and I don't remember exactly why. There were just things that frustrated me about it, but if you do want fall fantasy feels, these are definitely a good choice. But yeah, I didn't love everything on that. I feel like that's more of a me thing, because I really love this author, but I was kind of disappointed with these. So they're definitely not her best books, but yeah, definitely very fall. This one, I saved this one for last. This one's definitely good to read in October. It is Imaginary Friend. It is a horror, and it is... you will be so connected to the characters, and really he makes them feel like real people. You'll be so connected with the characters. Everything will be going well, and you'll be like terrified for them, because you know if everything's going perfectly right now, everything is going to go badly very, very soon, and it does. It's a very dark and it's a very hard to read, but it's such an amazing book. So I'd definitely be careful with this if you don't like horror. If you do like horror, this is just a masterpiece. Yeah. So those are my books and my recommendations. Everything will be linked in the descriptions under my affiliates, except for the audiobook, the Dracula audiobook. Yeah, let me know if you guys have read these books, and if you also think they are good for fall. Yeah, and which books you are planning on reading for fall. Let me know, and thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye!